Wilt Chamberlain, the blueprint breaker. Before there was a Jordan, before there was a LeBron, there was Wilt. And Wilt broke the game like a cheat code in human form. The man once dropped 100 points in a single game. No three-pointers, no overtime, just pure domination. The league had to change the rules just to keep him from humiliating everyone. Literally, they widened the paint because Wilt made the key feel like a sidewalk. They banned inbound passes over the backboard because Wilt was catching those and dunking them. They even invented offensive goaltending because he was snatching shots out of the air like a Marvel villain. Wilt didn't play basketball. He played physics. 7 feet 1 inch, fast as a guard, strong as a linebacker. He led the league in scoring, rebounds, and, oh yeah, assists one year, just because. He once claimed to have slept with 20,000 women. Is that true? Who knows? But based on how he dominated the league, we wouldn't doubt a single thing that came out of his mouth. Wilt was so unstoppable that the NBA panicked and re-engineered the game around him. No other player forced that many changes to the rulebook. He didn't just break records, he broke reality. Stephen Curry, the range revolution. Stephen Curry ruined basketball in the best possible way. Before Steph, taking a three from the logo was a bad shot. Now, it's a highlight reel. Steph didn't just shoot threes, he made them feel like layups. Defenders weren't safe even 30 feet from the basket. Teams started guarding half court like it was the paint. Kids in gyms everywhere stopped practicing layups and started chucking bombs from the parking lot. He broke every three-point record faster than the ink could dry, then broke his own records, then broke your team's spirit. Coaches had to redesign their defenses. The Warriors turned into a math equation you couldn't solve. Shoot twos? Cute. Steph's pulling up from 35 and hitting nothing but soul-crushing nylon. You know a guy's broken the game when big men start training like guards, just to survive. The entire league started hunting threes because of him. Steph made spacing a religion. He's 6 feet 2 inches, barely 185 pounds, looks like your tech guy, but he changed basketball forever. In short, Steph turned long shots into layups and defenders into memes. Shaquille O'Neal. Shaq didn't just break the game. He broke backboards and rules and a few souls along the way. Imagine being a 6'10", 250-pound NBA center and still feeling helpless when Shaq backed you down. This dude was 7 feet 1 inch, 325 pounds, and moved like a guard in a monster truck's body. He shattered rims twice and forced the NBA to reinforce their hoops because he was literally tearing arenas apart. Coaches started creating Hack-a-Shaq because it was the only way to stop him. Just foul and pray. That's how dominant he was. He shot free throws like he was blindfolded. Didn't matter. Still dropped 40 on your head in the finals. Shaq wasn't finesse. He was destruction. A bulldozer with footwork. A cartoon character come to life. He turned post-play into an art of war and made centers an endangered species. Teams had to get bigger, stronger, or get out of the way. You couldn't game plan for Shaq. You could only survive him. Allen Iverson. Allen Iverson didn't just hoop. He pulled up to the NBA like it was his block. No apologies, no filters, just raw talent and unfiltered energy. He was barely 6 feet tall, looked like a rapper, played like a warrior, and changed everything. The crossover? It wasn't just a move, it was a cultural reset. He hit Michael Jordan with it on live TV and stared him down like he'd just robbed a king. AI brought tattoos, cornrows, headbands, and baggy clothes into the mainstream, and the NBA hated it. They literally changed the dress code because of him, the Iverson rule. But that didn't stop him. He wasn't just hooping, he was speaking for a generation. A generation that looked like him, that dressed like him, that moved like him. And let's talk game. The man played through pain like it was part of the contract, dropping 40 while limping, leading a broken Sixers squad to the finals against prime Shaq and Kobe, and still stole Game 1, stepping over Tyronn Lue like he owned the floor. He never won a ring. Doesn't matter. He won hearts. He was the moment. And when he stood in front of the mic and shouted, "Practice?" he wasn't just talking about drills. He was pushing back against a system that never respected how much he gave. Allen Iverson didn't just shift the culture, he was the culture. Michael Jordan wasn't a basketball player, he was a global phenomenon. The man made greatness look scripted. 6 rings, 6 finals MVPs, 2 retirements, 3 eras, 0 finals losses. He played like a myth and lived like a legend. His fadeaway jumper, poetry, his killer instinct, straight up terrifying. He didn't just break opponents, he broke their spirits. You weren't playing the Bulls, you were trying to survive Jordan. But MJ's biggest flex, he made the NBA global. Before him, the league was American entertainment. After him, it was planetary. He turned sneakers into religion. Kids in Europe, China, Africa, they weren't watching basketball, they were watching Jordan. And they didn't just want to play like him, they wanted to be him. On court, he was a killer. Off court, he was a brand. Space Jam, Gatorade, Hanes. The silhouette alone became more iconic than most actual athletes. He was clutch. He was cool. He was chaos in slow motion. MJ didn't just dominate the game, he redefined what domination looked like. Magic Johnson was the glitch in the system. 6 feet 9 inches with the handles of a point guard, the court vision of a god, and the smile of someone who knew he was always 10 steps ahead. He came into the league as a rookie and won finals MVP while playing center. That's not a metaphor. That's not an exaggeration. Game 6. Kareem's out. Magic drops 42. grabs 15 boards, and hands out 7 assists like it's a charity event. He turned fast breaks into theater, no-look dimes, over-the-head passes, bounce lasers through defenders' legs. The Lakers weren't just winning, they were entertaining, and Magic was the ringleader of Showtime. He made passing cool, made leadership joyful, made the NBA sparkle. But then came the curveball, the HIV diagnosis in '91. Everyone thought it was over. Career done, life threatened, but Magic didn't fade. He fought, came back, played in the All-Star game, became a businessman, a team owner, a community icon. Magic didn't just bend positions, he bent reality. He showed the world that greatness isn't one role, it's whatever you choose to become. LeBron James wasn't built, he was engineered. 6 feet 9 inches, 250 pounds, runs like a guard, thinks like a point, scores like a legend. He entered the league with more hype than any player in history, and somehow exceeded all of it. From high school gyms to global arenas, LeBron didn't just live up to expectations, he rewrote them. He passed Magic in assists, Karl Malone in points, and became the all-time leading scorer, all while being called not a scorer. He's been the system on every team he's played for, the coach, the engine, the example. He won titles in 3 different cities against different dynasties in different eras. He didn't break the game with one skill. He broke it by being the complete package, and he's still going. Year 21, still jumping out the gym, still throwing pinpoint lasers, still playing chess while everyone else is on checkers. Dirk Nowitzki. Before Dirk, 7-footers were supposed to stay in the paint, block shots, catch lobs, not step back and drop threes on your head. Dirk said, nah, and turned the game inside out. That one-legged fadeaway, unblockable, icy, legendary. It became the move every tall kid on earth started practicing. Dirk didn't just redefine the power forward position. He made the NBA realize that shooting bigs were the future. He laid the blueprint for KD, Porzingis, even Jokic, when he led the Mavs to the 2011 title, taking down the Heatleys. It wasn't just an underdog story. It was the coronation of a quiet assassin who changed the geometry of the game. Dennis Rodman, the chaos factor. Dennis Rodman was less of a basketball player and more of a controlled explosion. He wasn't in the league to score points. He wasn't there to hit game winners or to sell shoes. Rodman was there to cause havoc, on the court, off the court, and sometimes in ways that defied all logic. He could grab 20 rebounds in a game like it was a reflex. Didn't matter if you were Shaq or MJ, Rodman would find a way to box you out, tip the ball to himself 3 times, and secure possession. His understanding of positioning, timing, and hustle was unparalleled. He turned rebounding into a science and an art. But then came the chaos. He dyed his hair neon pink one day, green the next. He skipped practices to party in Vegas. He kicked cameramen. He dated Madonna. He wore wedding dresses and declared he was marrying himself. He disappeared mid-season and returned like nothing happened. It was madness, but it was effective. Rodman played mind games with opponents and the media. He was the guy who'd fight you, then lock you down on the next possession. He was disruptive energy incarnate. But when the ball went up, he flipped the switch and gave 110% every time. In a world obsessed with scoring, Dennis Rodman reminded us that defense, hustle, and psychological warfare could be just as valuable. He was the NBA's wild card, and somehow it worked. James Harden, the loophole legend. James Harden didn't just score. He dissected the game like a hacker breaking into a secure system. Step backs, Euro steps, pump fakes, all timed to perfection. But his real genius? He weaponized the NBA rulebook. Harden figured out how to draw fouls in ways that frustrated defenders, coaches, and fans alike. He'd hook your arm, lean into your body, flick his wrists, and suddenly he's on the free throw line, over and over and over. To some, it was ugly basketball. To others, it was revolutionary. He made getting to the line a skill. At his peak, Harden was averaging over 35 points per game while dribbling the air out of the ball and still controlling every possession. He created isolation art. Slow, deliberate, and devastating. He turned defenders into props. One-on-one, there were few scarier matchups. And yeah, the NBA eventually changed the rules, the infamous non-basketball move foul fixes, because Harden had exploited the gray areas so well that the league had to rewrite the book. Love him or hate him, you couldn't ignore him. Harden was a glitch in the matrix, racking up points with moves that seemed custom-coded. He didn't just break the game, he rewrote the way it was played, one foul at a time. Kevin Durant, the unblockable hybrid. Kevin Durant is the NBA's most elegant anomaly. 7 feet tall, but with the fluidity, handles, and shooting touch of a 6'2" guard. Watching KD play is like watching a cheat code operate in real time. He scores from anywhere, over anyone, with a level of calm that almost feels disrespectful. You can't block his shot, the release point is too high, the mechanics too pure. He can pull up in transition, spot up from 30 feet, or dance into a jumper like he's moving on water. He's dropped 50 in playoff games, nailed daggers in the finals, and done it all without ever looking rattled. Durant redefined the archetype of a scorer. Tall no longer meant clunky. His rise forced teams to reconsider how they built rosters. Suddenly, every forward needed a handle. Every big man needed a jumper. And let's not ignore the burner Twitter accounts and occasional clapbacks, because KD's not just a generational scorer, he's a generational personality. He's walked his own path. From Oklahoma City to Golden State to Brooklyn to Phoenix, KD has chased greatness on his terms. And at every stop, he's left defenders shaking their heads. Nikola Jokic, the point center from another planet. Nikola Jokic is what happens when a center is born with the brain of a point guard and the soul of a chess master. He's not flashy, doesn't jump high, doesn't run fast, but he will pick your team apart. Pass by pass, fake by fake, glance by glance. Jokic turned the center position upside down. He leads the Nuggets in assists, sometimes even in steals. He throws full-court dimes, behind-the-head passes, and feathery floaters, all with the demeanor of a man ordering coffee. He's got an MVP trophy or two, a finals MVP. A championship. And he makes it look so casual, it's almost confusing. How is a guy who looks like your local butcher giving NBA All-Stars the business every night? Because Jokic doesn't rely on athleticism. He relies on anticipation, vision, geometry. His mind is 2 plays ahead. And his touch, it's pillow soft. He's not just a big who can pass. He's the engine of a modern NBA offense. And the scariest part, we still don't know what his ceiling is. Victor Wembanyama, the future is already broken. Victor Wembanyama isn't the future of basketball. He's the glitch that showed up early. 7 feet 4 inches, 8-foot wingspan, crossovers like a guard, pull-up threes like a shooting guard, shot-blocking instincts like a young Mutombo. Wemby doesn't play the game like a big. He plays it like a new species. We've never seen this before. Never. He can chase you down in transition and swat your layup, then walk down the court and drain a step-back 3 in your face, in the same possession. It's not evolution, it's revolution. Scouts are already panicking. Teams are rethinking development programs. Young bigs are practicing guard drills. Because once Wemby hit the league, the rules changed. The crazy part? He's 20. He hasn't scratched the surface. And yet he's already bending offensive and defensive schemes with his mere presence. Wemby didn't just break the game. He rewrote the source code. And the NBA will never be the same.